Committee on Oversight and Government Reform will come to order. Pursuant to Committee Rule 5B and House Rule 11-2H4, the Chair announces that he may postpone further proceedings today on any question of approving any measure or matter or adopting an amendment on which a recorded vote or the yeas and nays are ordered. And without objection, the Chair is authorized to declare a recess at any time. The next item for consideration is H.R. 1613, the Federal Vehicle Repair Cost Savings Act of 2015. Clerk will designate the bill.
H.R. 1613 to reduce the operation and maintenance costs associated with the federal fleet by encouraging the use of remanufactured parts and for other purposes.
I ask unanimous consent that the bill be considered as read and open for amendment at any point. Hearing no objections, so ordered. I'd like to yield myself 5 minutes to explain the legislation. The Federal Vehicle Repair Cost Savings Act encourages agencies to use remanufactured vehicle components when doing so to reduce maintenance costs. In 2013, a GAO report found remanufactured vehicle components such as engines, starters, alternators, steering racks, clutches, etc., tend to be less expensive than comparable replacement parts. In fact, in a 2012 study, the study found that remanufacturing can result in a savings of 85% of the energy and material used to manufacture equivalent new parts. Further, this study found that remanufactured parts are on average 20 to 50% less expensive. Requiring agency heads to encourage their federal vehicle maintenance staff to use remanufactured components will reduce maintenance costs, which totaled $957 million in the year 2011 alone. That's the federal government having to deal with some 588,000 vehicles. Last month, the Senate passed companion legislation, Senate Bill 565, sponsored by Senator Peters, a Democrat from Michigan, and Senator Langford, the Republican from Oklahoma. I want to thank our colleague, Mr. Huizenga, for his work on this bill and urge my colleagues to support this piece of legislation and cost savings. Now I'd like to recognize the ranking member for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm a strong proponent of saving taxpayer dollars wherever we can, while ensuring that the federal government buys quality products. For this reason, I support the Federal Vehicle Repair Cost Savings Act. This legislation would require the head of each federal agency to encourage the use of remanufactured vehicle components if doing so would reduce costs while maintaining quality. The intent behind the bill is to raise awareness of the option of to use remanufactured parts and inform agency fleet managers of this cost-saving option. Use of remanufactured parts would be encouraged by principal leadership at each agency, but would remain at the discretion of fleet managers. According to March 2013 GAO report, federal agencies spent $975 million on their repair and maintenance in 2011. The report also found that remanufactured vehicle components tend to be far cheaper. For example, the Postal Service and the Department of Interior informed GAO that they rely on remanufactured vehicle components to reduce costs. I also commend Representative Bill Huizenga and Senator Gary Peters for introducing the legislation. This legislation passed the Senate by unanimous consent last month, and I hope we can work together to move this bill forward in a bipartisan manner in this chamber. With that, I yield back.
Thank you. Do any other members wish to speak on the bill? The gentleman from Virginia is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just real briefly, I commend the authors of this legislation and echo the sentiments both you and the distinguished ranking member just had. Like our friend Ms. Lawrence, I served in local government for 14 years. This is the kind of practical sort of thing we do all the time at the local level, and I'm glad it's finally reaching the federal level. So thank you for bringing it up, and I hope the bill passes. I yield back.
Thank the gentleman. Recognize the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Carter, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I fully support this bill as it will encourage agencies to use the most cost-effective maintenance options for our federal fleets while maintaining a high level of quality and safety. I believe this is a good step toward reducing spending, saving taxpayer dollars, and working towards decreasing and eliminating our national debt. However, I believe this committee in the future should look into federal vehicle maintenance as a whole for even more cost-saving opportunities. For example, the U.S. Postal Service currently conducts maintenance on over 200,000 vehicles at 322 facilities. Moving this massive operation to private sector bidding could result in significant savings for the Postal Service. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to request that my office work with the committee to determine the cost savings of eliminating all non-defense vehicle maintenance by the Federal Government and moving these repairs to a private sector bidding model. I hope we can work together to start determining the most responsible way to protect taxpayer money. Thank you, and I yield my time.
Thank the gentleman. Thank you for his interest, and the committee does look forward to working with you and any others who have interest in this topic. It is an important one. We're talking about significant dollars, and appreciate the gentleman's interest. Do any other members wish to speak on the bill? Are there any amendments to the bill? If there are none, the question is now on the adoption and favorably reporting H.R. 1613 to the House of Representatives. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the Chair, the ayes have it, and the bill is ordered favorably reported. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.